Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is going to be a two-parter. It's actually going to be a top 20 list. Now, what it is it's the top 20 notes that I own that are part of the 100 greatest American currency notes. This is the official list here, 100 greatest American currency notes compiled by Bowers and Sundman. And what I'm going to do is, instead of reading them out, because I don't want to read out 100 of them, I'm just going to go through and you guys can pause and take a peek at each note as you like. So this way I don't have to read all this stuff, but yet you guys can still see what are considered the top 100 notes. You'll notice a lot of the notes that's on this list are denominations that the average person isn't going to be able to get. So trying to get this entire list of 100, probably not going to happen. Let's see, the actual website, let's see if I can get this on here, is worldbanknotescoins.com. You can see that right there at the top of the screen. That's where I got this particular list. A quick Google search will find all those for you anyway. All right, and just to point out, like I was saying, number one on the list is the $1,000 Grand Watermelon from 1899, which sells for $3 million. So if you're trying to complete the top 100, you're probably not going to do it. So the question then becomes, how close can you come? Well, I was curious, and I don't quite have 20, but I am very close. So let's start off with number 20 through number 11. Number 20 on my list. This note is my $1,000 bill. Now, this note didn't make the top 100. That's because this note, if I look right here, is the series of 1934A. If this one was the series of 1928, the 1928 $1,000 bill did make the top 100. And where did that top 100 note fall? That's right, if you want a 1928 $1,000 bill, that'll get you all the way up to 99th place on the top 100. 99th for a $1928,000 bill. That is number 20 on my list. Number 19. And by the way, every note that you see this week and next week when I complete this list are the real notes. I didn't want to have any of my replicas, because if I'm going to tell you I have the note, I'm going to show you I have the note. All right, number 19 on my list. This particular note is a you can see right there, 1922 $10 gold certificate. Now, the $10 gold certificate from 1922 did not make the list, but the $10 gold certificate from 1907 did, and it looks just like this. I just have the wrong year. We'll take a quick peek at the back of this one. I don't even know if I showed the back of the 1,000. Those of you who haven't seen that, that's that one. But the back of the $10 gold certificate, like I said, this one is from 1922. The one that made the list was from 1907. They look the same, just a different year. And if you have this note in the 1907 version, that will put you at number 98 on the top 100 list. So that's number 19. Number 18. This is an 1891 $1 Treasury Note. The $1 Treasury Note from 1891. That is the note that I have. However, this note didn't make the top 100, but the 1890 did. The 1890 Treasury Note has a different back. This one has a lot of the back showing, a lot of the white area here. The 1890 version has a lot more green on the back, but for 1 year difference, this is as close as I can come. This is not part of the top 100, but the 1890 version of this note will get you to the number 83 spot on that list. So yeah, this would be number 83 if it was 1 year older. That's number 18. Number 17. Number 17 is just, well, let's see. This is my 1922 $20 gold certificate. Now, the 1922 $20 gold certificate, as cool of a note is that I think this is, this is one of my favorite notes of all time. As cool of a note as this note didn't make the top 100, and I am stunned and I am in awe that it is not there. However, The 1905 Technicolor version of this note did. The Technicolor version will have a yellow background in this area here. It will have a bright yellow 20 instead of the same color as the back, and in gold coin will also match that bright yellow, So that would be the Technicolor version. The Technicolor version of this note, like I said, this one doesn't make the list, but the Technicolor, that is number 9 overall on the list. All right, so those 4 notes are close but no cigars. Still, that is number 17, right? Okay, so now we're talking number 16. Now we have the actual notes. Number 16 on my list is a note some of you probably have and didn't know it was ranked that high. This is a $1 North Africa note, emergency currency from World War II. 1935A North Africa note with the bright yellow seal. Very familiar back to all of us. Seems like a $1 bill. It doesn't seem like a very big deal at all, but it is. It actually ranks number 77 on the list. Number 77 of the top 100 is a $1 North Africa note. I'm a much bigger fan of the 10 and the 5 because of the blue color on it as well. But the $1 one is the one that makes the list. That's number 16. Number 16 and number 77 on the top 100. Number 15. Number 15 is the $10, which one is this? The $10 legal tender from 1880. This is known as the Jackass Note. $10 1880 Jackass Note, of course, is famous for the picture of the eagle right there, because if you take the picture of that eagle and you rotate it, that eagle becomes a donkey. You can see its eye, there's its white muzzle, you can see its ears, its mane. It is a donkey. That is the Jackass Note. The Jackass Note, number 15 on my list, but on the top 100, this one is number 71. So number 71 overall in the top 100, 1880 Jackass Note. Number 14 on my list, this one is number 69 overall. Number 69 overall, the $10,000 gold certificate. This is the 1900 $10,000 gold certificate. These were all redeemed, and they were redeemed before 1933, of course. So this one, I believe, was redeemed 1916 is when that was done there. And they were stored at the Washington, D.C. post office, which caught on fire. So the person who knew that these were there started throwing them out the window to save them. So that's why some of the notes, like mine, you can see here, does have a little bit of damage. When you look at the back, you can see that damage is actually burn damage and smoke damage from the fire. The notes have been redeemed. You can kind of see the redemption there on the back. But still, a $10,000 gold certificate from a fire in 1935. How much crazier can you get? This particular note, like I said, is number 14 on my list. On the top 100, it is number 69. Number 13 on my list, we are going with a $2 1899 silver certificate. This is the mini porthole note. The $2 1899 note. This one is the one that replaced the educational series. When the educational series was taken out of circulation after only 3 years, they had to come up with something quickly to replace it. This is what they brought out. The $2 mini porthole silver certificate from 1899. Take a peek at the back. Mine's not in the greatest of shape, but I do have one, and I got this one for a bargain. I just haven't ever thought of updating it, but I'm sure I will. 1899 $2 silver certificate. On the top 100, this note is number 67. So number 13 on my list, number 67 on the big list. Number 12. We already had the North Africa. The $1 Hawaii note is the next note that I own that makes that list. The $1 Hawaii note, this of course is a World War II emergency currency note. One of the easier notes to get a hold of. It is, you can get these in decent shape for well under $100. In conditions like this, you're talking only $10-12. And for that price, you can have a top 100 note in your collection. It's amazing that that can happen, especially when number one on the list is $3 million. But yeah, the 1935A Hawaii note, and you can see on the back it's got the Hawaii overprint over there. This part of World War II history, like I said, is number 12 on my list, and they put this at number 65 on the list of top 100 notes. So yeah, if you don't have it, it's a real easy note to add to your collection. That's a top 100. And finally for this week we are going with, well, the halfway mark. It's number 50 overall on the top 100 list, and I thought that was pretty impressive that half of my 20 make the top half of the list. What do I have? This is an 1886 $1 silver certificate. This one is my Martha Washington. $1 silver certificate featuring Martha Washington on there from 1886. Martha Washington, the very first woman to appear on U.S. currency. There's images of women, but there's not named women. Some of the obsolete banknotes will have women on them, but those are obsolete banknotes. This is actual federal currency. Take a quick peek at the back of this one here. My 1886 $1 Martha Washington note. This one, like I said, number 50 on my list and number 11 in my top 20. So that's the first half of all the notes that I actually own that made the top 100. Tune in next week when I take down notes numbers 10 through 1, and we'll see how many of those are even in the, who knows, in the top 10. How many notes in the top 10 can I have? 1, 2? Who knows? We'll find out next week when I continue this list. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week.